Nothing matters but love for God. God is the only reality. All else that seems real is illusory. God and I are one. Meher Baba. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. Thanks to beloved Baba and Jai Baba to all of you. There's a voice coming in through one of the my yeah, thank you. Let me see if I can put in my okay. All right. Is that better? Is
No,
that
Cyrus,
better?
we can hear you very clear. Even before we could hear you well.
Uh, there's no difference now, is it? Okay, okay,
No,
forget
no
it. Chalo.
difference. No difference.
All right, all right, all right. Um, to begin with, today Soumya may not join us, or she may in between, I don't know, because her mother had a fall and she's been hospitalized, Soumya's mummy. And so I just came from the hospital. Now she's taking turns over there for the night. And she said she would join in, but I suppose something must have gone wrong, no connection or whatever. So it doesn't matter. We are reading Meher Baba Calling, and the chapter number is 66. It says, keep your center in me. Let's understand that. Keep your center in me. I would interpret it as whatever you do or even don't do, at the back of your mind, keep remembering him. Keep inviting him in whatever we do. Keep him, in short, as our constant companion, wholehearted remembrance. Talking about center, Baba himself has said, that the real center of Meher Baba is the heart. And so he is in our heart as the center, and we keep him in our mind and heart as our center. Baba says, do as I say, and the rest leave to me. Do as I say would mean follow my wish, for obey me, follow my instructions. They are all there. Baba says that the greatest law of God is love that holds the key to all problems. So obviously he wants us to love wholeheartedly, love without any conditions, preconditions, no adulteration in love. If you do this for me, I love you, etc., etc. So somebody may ask when Baba says, do as I say, and the rest leave to me. So somebody may ask, what does Baba say now that he is gone? Baba has left behind my wish. Baba has left behind how to love God. Baba has left behind 12 ways of realizing me. And of course, a whole lot of discourses, so we can always read that and try to internalize it in our life and make an attempt, a sincere, honest attempt at following it as much as we can. So Baba says, do as I say and leave the rest to me. What does it mean? Leave the rest to me would mean that do not bother, worry, be concerned about the results. Be unattached with the results. Just do whatever is expected of you to be done. Just do it at that point in time, very honestly, very sincerely, and then leave the results to Baba. Don't be at all affected by the results. But do as I say. Again, Baba is repeating. But do as I say. When you see the ocean, see me as the ocean. Baba is trying to help us to cultivate this art, this practice of seeing Him in everyone and in everything. First of all, we start seeing Him in all that is beautiful, all that is noble, all that is good. We see Him in the ocean, we see Him in the sky, in the firmament, we see Him in the beauty of the rose, we see him in all that is beautiful. But gradually, we must start seeing him in all that we feel as filthy, ugly, dirty, repulsive. Let's put it that way. Because Baba says that I am in that also. So unless we start the practice of seeing him in all that is good and noble and beautiful, we have to start somewhere. So Baba says, see me as the ocean. I am the ocean. When you see the ocean rolling, think this is Baba. In other words, Baba has very emphatically said that there is nothing besides God. It is God, the creator, who becomes the creation and plays different role in the creation. So once we have developed this practice, this art, this tendency of seeing Baba in everyone and everything, then that is also that tantamounts to making Baba. The chapter is keep your center in me. So that tantamounts to keeping Baba as the center of everything for us and keeping our center as the center of everything for us. So Baba says, see me as the ocean. I am the ocean. When you see the ocean rolling, think this is Baba. So when we see the ocean rolling, all right, sorry. Stability in Baba would mean tathast, very firmly holding on to him no matter what. Why? Because him is the truth, him is the reality, the no matter what is in the domain of illusion. Things are happening in life, everything happens in life. They are in the domain of illusion. So don't let the stability become unstable because of the cause of illusion. This is how I would like to read this passage. Keep the center all the time. Stability in Baba. I am with you, near you. You have not to worry about anything. I am with you, near you, eternally. In this writing, as well as in so many writings of Meher Baba, you will find that he is very repetitive. He repeats the same thing in order to emphasize that. So here again, Baba says, I am with you, near you. You have not to worry about anything. I am with you, near you, eternally. He knows that he is always with us. But our experience has been that only at times he is with us, most of the time he is not with us. That's the general experience. When we are when we are fuss out into some kind of a problem, when we are in a when we are in a corner where there is no escape, you are cornered. That is when you call out to him from deep within, and all of a sudden you intuitively experience his presence. Not only experience his presence, but whatever predicament that we may be in, we find that we have come out of it. So that time we see that we feel that yes, he is with me. But most of the time we may not feel that he is with us. That is because we do not call out to him in the way we called out to him when we were in a corner, when we were cornered. So Baba has very beautifully said that I am always with you. It is only when your love for me is at its apex that you are able to realize my oneness with you. That means I am with you. And the moment you love yourself and the moment you love others, in the sense of separative others, not Baba in others, then you will feel that you have lost me. I had given this example several times about Baba making the Manli meditate for 2 minutes. And Baba said, just visualize my image near your third eye, And Baba asked Francis Brabazon, so what is your experience? And Francis said, Baba, you come and go. That is when Baba corrected him and said, no, Francis, it is you who come and go. I am always there. In other words, he is always there. If we are not able to perceive his presence in our life, it means that we have not really taken that much of care to create our awareness of his presence in our life. He is always there. He is the platform. He will never go away. We will go away in search of Maya, illusion, everything. And that is the time when we feel that we have lost him. But we have not lost him. We have lost ourselves in Maya, and therefore we are not able to feel his palpable presence in our life. The moment we come back on the track, we realize, oh, he was always there. He's always there. He can never be lost. We get lost and found time to time again. Then Baba goes on to say, I remember this statement because I used to like it once about, I still like it, but I used to say, Baba says, you are one of my rocks on whom I can depend. And somehow I used to wear the cap. I don't know why. It must be definitely an ego. But then every one of us can wear that cap and say, Baba says, you to all of us are one of my rocks on whom I can depend. That means we should be so dependable to Baba that he can depend upon us. I can promise you definitely that you will always be near me until you become one with me. See the promise Baba is saying that I promise you. Definitely, he's saying, he's not only giving a promise, but he's saying, I promise you definitely that you will always be near me until you become one with me. The point is that he is never away from us. The only thing is to develop that height of awareness whereby we realize that he is with us, he is in us, and in fact, that will lead us to that realization that he is us. Let's put it that way. At the moment we feel he is in us, he is around us, he is within us, and all that. But ultimately, that will lead us to the goal, which is he is us. That way. In other words, we become him. So again, I'll repeat this. You are one of my rocks on whom I can depend. I can promise you definitely that you will always be near me until you become one with me. And then Baba asked a very pertinent question, and it is so really pertinent. What more do you want? Baba is saying, asking, what more do you want? What is there to want? Really speaking, what is there to want? If Baba is within us and our center is in Baba and Baba's center is within us, then the game is, the game is won. Because then all the other hera-fairy that is happening in the universe, it doesn't matter to us because we have caught hold of the truth. We have caught hold of the root of the tree, and we are not hankering for the branch and the leaves and the fruits and all that, flowers and all that. We have caught hold of the root. So Baba says, what more do you want? I do not talk much to you, for it is self understood. You know it, it is within. I think it's a very powerful statement. You know it, it is within. Everything is within us. Baba says that. All your spiritual path, all your angels, archangels, all your so-called ascended masters, spirituality, everything is within us. And that is why Baba says that remember that you are not in the cosmos. The cosmos is within you. And when Baba says within you, he is not meaning this body within you. He is meaning within your real self, which is the Atma. Everything is within. There is nothing outside. It's all within. So here we end this first chapter, number 66. Keep your center in me. Any questions on that? Anybody
Cyrus,
has any? Yes, go ahead.
may I ask, please?
Yes, please.
Cyrus, when Baba uses the word, you are the rock on which I depend. Now, why would the creator who is, having infinite power, knowledge, bliss, in that sense, what would he depend on us for?
I would put it this way that he depends on us to allow him to work upon us so that he may awaken himself within us. I would like to do it that way.
Okay, but Cyrus, then again, Baba always keeps on saying that it is my grace which allows you to take
See, this is
his name and his grace. So,
the point is his grace is ever flowing. We have to make our patra, our utensil, our vastra capable to gelify means capable to contain his grace. So when he says, you are one of the rocks on whom I can depend, I would like to put it that way. Not that, oh, he wants us to work for him and therefore he can depend on us. That is a very minuscule aspect of what he has. He is depending on us so that we allow him to work within us, so that he is able to awaken himself within us. And once he is awakened within us, we too will awaken for all time. In other words, he is pleading with us, please help me to help you. This is my interpretation, let me tell you that. Otherwise, he doesn't need anybody for his work. He says, I do my own work, but I allow you to participate in my work so that you can use your ability, capability, and aptitudes in my work and make yourself free. And that is why time and time again I tell most of the forums that every one of us has got some kind of special. We are all unique. We have got some speciality. How can we use that speciality for Baba's work? Baba's work means to remember him more, to please him, to glorify him. That kind. Some may be a good speaker, some may be a good singer, some may be a great actor, some may be a dancer, some may draw, some may do anything. So channelize that art, that whatever aptitude that we may have in his service. And in his service necessarily does not mean that him as Meher Baba. No, you can give that service to the poor people. You can teach something, you can help somebody in some other way, and that also is serving God. You got me?
thank you so much, Cyrus. Thank
Jai
you,
Baba.
and Godspeed recovery to your mother-in-law.
Oh,
We'll
thank you, thank
definitely
you, thank you,
keep
thank
her
you.
in prayers. Please
Oh,
convey to Soumya.
she
Very
is
sorry
very
to
strong.
hear about that.
She is very strong-willed. Doctor asks her what happened. She's actually broken her bone at several places. Oh,
Oh God.
nothing, just a small thing. I'll be okay. In 2-3 days, I'll go home. Like that. So,
We'll keep her in
so
prayers. Thank
very,
you.
very strong-willed. Very, very strong-willed. Anyway, go ahead. Anybody else? So then may I go on to the next chapter? All right. This is chapter number 67, Meher Baba calling. It says, hold fast to me. See, if you really, go through Baba's words, basically there is nothing. Philosophy may be many, but philosophy, Baba's Baba himself defined philosophy like simple things made complicated is philosophy. So it's like that. So that philosophy may be more so much, But basically, he's hovering around this. Hold fast to my daman, keep thinking about me, keep depending upon me, try to follow my wish. That's all. What is more? What more is that? We may go into a lot of debates about his discourses and God speaks and stuff like that. That's another story. So here again, Baba is emphasizing on hold fast to me. Means what? Not that you're going to hold him or hug him or something. Means when we say follow God's tenets. We all only mean is follow His wish, follow what He has asked us to do. Realize that only Him, that is God, is real. All else is false. And when all else is false, what happens is automatically, we are concerned, no doubt. We are very careful, we are aware, we are mindful, we are very much focused on that. But at the back of our mind, we know this is transient, this is impermanent, it does not have any real astitva, and therefore we do not get affected too much with what is happening outside of us, because we know anyway it's an illusion, it's not something real. So that in that sense, hold fast to me is hold fast to the truth, to the reality, to obeying him, to following him. When I come down to your level, because of the familiarity and intimacy that is created, you completely forget about my divinity. You forget that I know every little thing. When I sit with you all, when I inquire about your health and so on, you forget that you must inform me of every detail, and at the same time, you forget that I know everything. The sum and substance of this paragraph, I am reminded of Don Stevens, and I have already narrated that story to you. I'll just repeat it also, that there are some who are saying all the time that you should never ask anything from Baba. Very strongly, very, very strongly. Because even in Baba's message called the highest of the high, he has said this very, very lucidly, very emphatically, that if I am the avatar, then I know what is to be given, whom it is to be given, what time, when, where, how much, all that I know. So what's the point in asking me? When you ask me, that means I don't know. You see, that's one story. The other part again is equally emphatic, that बाबा के पास नहीं पूछेंगे तो किसके पास मांगेंगे. If we do not ask Baba, who else do we ask? After all, in our life, there is only Baba and nobody else. And Baba does not, very emphatic, again repeating, Baba does not expect us to run here, there, everywhere for these so-called spiritual experiences and all that. So we only want, we are only one, and that is Baba. So whom else do we ask? He is our Mata, he is our Pita, he is our everything. Another section, Then there is third in between, which says, "Ye hai hamari arzi, aage tumhari marzi." This is what my request is. It is up to you to offer it or not, to give it or not. And if you give it, I will say thank you, Baba. If you don't give it, I will also say thank you, Baba, because you know best that it must not be good for me, and therefore you are not giving me. So that is the third option. Then after many years, I discovered a fourth option. Discovered in the sense, when Don Stevens, uh, you know, we were quite good friends. In fact, whenever he used to come to Bombay, we would make it a point to have one meal together and have a little wine and stuff like that, and we would discuss and talk. Although he was much advanced in age and also much advanced so far as his connection with Baba is concerned, absolutely advanced. But then somehow we had a good rapport. So he narrated this, and it is there in the books also, that one fine day when he went to Merazad, Baba was not his usual self to him. And he would, normally Baba would be very loving, very outgoing, very, very, uh, very outgoing. But this time it wasn't so. So he was in little dilemma. Have I done something wrong? Why is it that Baba is displeased with me? And then it transpired that Don's mother had died some time back, and he had not conveyed in details to Baba how it happened and all that. And that is why Baba was upset. Why did you not inform me? So when Baba said, why did you not inform me? Don said the same thing. That Baba, you are God, you know everything. You know everything. Then Baba very emphatically said, like how he is saying, that you must inform me of every detail. And at the same time, you forget that I know everything. So in other words, Baba told Don, no, no, you ought to have informed. You have failed to inform me. You should have informed. So that seeped into his psyche so deeply and profoundly that he made a decision. The mic is on, my dear. Katie Mystery. Yeah, thank you, darling. So he made it a point to, he agreed that yes, Baba, now I will inform you everything. So during Baba's physical ministry, of course, he would write and inform everything to Baba. But after Baba dropped his body, even after Baba dropped his body, he continued his practice of standing before Baba's photograph, and every single day, at the end of the day, he would speak out all that has happened during the whole day. In other words, he is not asking. He is not even saying, "Ye meri arji, aap aage tumhari marji," ऐसे nothing. Nothing. He is informing. So I thought that was a very profound word. Inform Baba everything. Period. Then you leave it to him whether he has to take action upon that or not action upon that. I remember when I used to be in a bank manager, we used to our supervisors, we would, the, this is for your kind information and necessary action, comma, if any, full stop. So we have passed on the buck to the higher authority so that tomorrow the higher authority cannot say that you never informed me. So we would inform a whole lot of things, and then action, if any, you want, if there is any action required, then you take it. So I think it's a very practical and a very profound practice that we could all adopt in informing Baba everything that is happening to us. Inform and then leave it to him. Whether he wants to take action and remedy it, fine. If he says, no, I don't want to do anything, this is fine with you, fine. I think that was, I find that very practical, and where we are neither asking nor not asking, nor saying that this is my arji, aage tumhari marji. We are simply informing Baba, this is what, ये घटना हमारी जीवन में घटित हो रही है. So this is what is happening in our life. Now you take care. If you want to take action, take it. All right. Then I continue to read. Keep your hearts clean with all that Baba decides. I don't know exactly what Baba is wanting to convey, but clean heart, in my understanding, would be a pure heart. In my understanding, would mean a selfless heart, unselfish heart. Because if you look at all the aspects of supposedly negative, anger, greed, lust, jealousy, pride, hatred, egoism, all that, attachment, it is all connected with I, my, me, and mine. If you really look at it, why would I get angry? Because my desire is not fulfilled. Why would I be greedy? Because I want something from somebody. That kind. Why would I be envy, jealous? All that is I, my, me, and mine, which is the meaning of having an impure heart or an impure mind. Basically, it is the same thing. We won't go into the mental world of the thoughts and the desires. But basically, it means the same thing. So, what Baba is trying to say here is, keep your hearts clean would mean that be unselfish, or not, don't be selfish, be selfless with all that Baba decides. Let there be no lingering misunderstanding. I really don't know, because this must have come from as an extract from some Baba's talk, Baba's discourse during the Sahwas program or something, where there may be some misunderstanding, which keeps happening. Let there be no lingering misunderstanding. See, there are two things. One is differences. What is it called? Just give me a moment, huh? I'm not getting the Hindi word, but anyway, there are differences when we work. That is fine. Differences show that you have got that individuality, you have got that vibrancy, that vigor to do some work for Baba, and we all have our own thought processes. Fine. But misunderstanding, ghair samajh, as we call it, uh, I'm again not getting the word. Anyway, so, and if there is any misunderstanding, Baba would want us to clarify to the other person 1, 2, 3, and over. Let it not be a lingering misunderstanding. Because when there is a lingering misunderstanding, it eats up in our psyche. It creates a very negative impact in our cellular body. It creates a lot of load, a garbage on our mind. So if there is a misunderstanding, you from either side, any side, you just walk, take the first step. Now you might ask, why should I take the first step? I am not at fault. Somebody else is at the fault. And this is exactly what happens when there is a tutu meme. So there is another English saying, that to whom more is given, more is expected. Words to the effect. In other words, if we are given this knowledge about Baba and about spirituality and about how to conduct oneself in life and so many things, if we are that, then it is because more is given to me, more is expected out of me, that I take the first step to break the ice and not wait till somebody else responds or says. Because waiting makes that misunderstanding go more. It's like a whirlpool. It will go more and more deeper and deeper and deeper. Why? Because in that misunderstanding, of course, I'm digressing a little bit. In that misunderstanding, we tend to have a lot of what is known as self-talk. We talk a lot within ourselves. A lot of we create monsters in our own mind. Dharanada, this is like this, that is like this, always like this, never like this, Dharanada, and all that. So it is going deeper and deeper and deeper, and then it becomes very difficult to root it out. So any misunderstanding, try to finish it off on day one itself, we call it, before you go to bed, just clear off whatever. So here Baba says, let there be no lingering misunderstanding. If you all have the love and faith that I am the avatar, which I am, then you must obey me, you must love me. I'm sure something must have gone wrong in that program, and it invariably happens in that program. In Baba's program, the sparks. Baba said this, that in my presence, sparks of all that is good and bad comes out, as it were. It just comes out. And then there is a lot of conflict happening. And it is a good thing to bring it out. And Baba sometimes lagaus chavi in order to bring it out, and that is his way of bringing out all the suppressed emotions and feelings which are suppressed in your subconscious mind. He brings it out to the conscious mind, and it will come out like a flare, and then he just vanishes out. He just swish off the whole thing. So there are people who have experienced many so-called apparently negative emotions coming out of themselves after having come in Baba's fold. So this could be one of the reasons that Baba does not want it to be, submerged heap after heap into that. He wants it to come out, erupt, and then clean off the whole thing. Make a clean heart out of it. So here Baba says, you must all obey me, you must all love me. If you are not prepared to obey me, or if you have doubts and wish to carry out your own will, then you must leave me. Baba, right from the very beginning, even in the very first ashram, Manzile Meme at Dadar in Mumbai, he was very Jalali at that time. He was a very different, he had a very different temperament. And so the slightest of mistake, and Baba would throw out their beddings and bedding roll and everything and just literally kick the person out and say, get out. I don't want to see your dirty face and all that. Means slightest disobedience, Baba would not be able to tolerate. And many times people would say, Baba, I mean, why are you getting so angry at such a small thing? Such, why are you insisting so much on obedience? And that is when Baba had said, it's all there in our Bombay Center publication called uh, Baba's Bombay Connection, a chronicle. It is there in that book, where Baba says, I am disciplining you in such a manner that you obey me without any question. You obey me instantaneously. Why? Because when I am in the mood of giving you that, what that means, that at that time, it is a matter of split second. And if you do not cultivate that habit of instantaneous, immediate obedience, then you may lose out on that most wonderful gift that I want to give you. So I am giving you that practice of being so very total in your obedience, so very implicit in your obedience. So that is the explanation which Baba had given when somebody, I think it was Sarosh Irani, who asked Baba, why so much of a, it's a small disobedience. What is that? Like that. All right. If you are not prepared to obey me, or if you have doubts and wish to carry out your own will, then you must leave me. If you love me, you must hold fast to me. That means, in other words, Baba, in a sense, uh, do not want us to go here, there, helter skelter. He has always emphasized that once having come in the darbar of the avatar, you must not go here and there, because that will not only not benefit you, but it could harm you also. And Baba had given so many examples. There are so many stories. We will not go into that right now. But now, anybody has any questions on this? Any question? No question. Okay.
Meher Daruwala wants to
Okay.
say something.
Katie Mystery's mic also is on. So if maybe
Sorry, sorry.
she also
No,
wants
no,
to ask
no,
something.
no. Sorry, sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay, Katie.
Sorry, sorry, sorry. I'm coming after a long time.
No
Very sorry.
problem. No problem. No problem. Please mute
Meher
your mic.
Daruwala?
Yes,
Meher
Mayor.
No, no,
Daru.
I don't.
Mayor. Mayor, unmute your mic. What happened? Never mind. I think we go ahead.
Yeah,
If
we
she,
go ahead.
if
Yeah.
she wants to ask, let her unmute and ask. Okay. Now this is chapter number 68. Uphold me to share my consciousness. Now again, the same thing. You might say, how do we uphold him? We can only uphold him by upholding his tenets, by upholding whatever he has asked us to do, by upholding and conducting ourselves in our life, that only God is real and everything else is an illusion, by upholding that love is the greatest law of God, that Baba expects us to love unadulterately. That means love for love's sake, not for what is in it for me, what is my payoff, what am I going to get out of it when I'm going to show my love. And love does not mean just hugging and kissing. Basically, love would mean, I would understand, something that you want to give without expecting anything in return, where you have an active concern for the goodness and the well-being of the other, and you take action to make the other fulfilled in any which way, accomplished in any which way, without thinking, what am I going to get out of it? This is basically love. Of course, Baba has given so many points about how to love God. We won't go into that now. Anybody can read it on the net. So here Baba says, I am one with you on every level. The speciality of the perfect masters and the avatar, who's the eternal living perfect master, one of the characteristics is that they are one with everyone at all the levels. With somebody who is in the kindergarten, he would behave like that. With somebody who is intellectual, he would behave intellectual. If somebody who is a ignorant person, of what we call as very naive, very gouty sort of, he would behave like that. With the saints, he would behave like that. And with perfect masters, he would behave like that. So in other words, he is one at all levels. I remember once, uh, Pratap Ahir, we all know him, very, very dear friend of ours. We were just chatting around something to do with Baba. And he said, Pratap said, Cyrus, we are Maharashtrians, he said. We are Maharashtrians. We have grown in that gully gucci, we call it, lane by lane. We have grown in that. And once Baba was sitting amongst us and we were discussing. And whenever, very casually, idhar ka, udhar ka, and Baba had he had a mastery in all the languages. He would use in his communication English, Hindi, Marathi, even Farsi, Urdu, Persian, and all the languages. And one fine day, some we were discussing, and he used certain language which we never expected. He said that Baba would ever be aware of that language. In other words, I said, what exactly? बोला वो language ऐसी घटरी language है, घटरी means very, very low type of people would use that language. You see, but in other words, Baba was trying to say that he is at every level. He knows at every level. I remember once an instance when Baba was giving a discourse, and Eraj would interpret his gestures of maybe board, I don't know, gestures of board in English, and somebody would translate it into Hindi, maybe Bhauji, somebody would translate into Marathi, maybe Bal Natuji, and somebody would translate it into Gujarati. There was one, I forgot the person's, one gentleman by the name of Mehta. Anyway, I forgot. So he was Gujarati, and then there was one who was translating in Telugu. And when the Telugu person was translating Baba's message, Baba clapped when he translated a certain word, and Baba said, no, not this. Baba is saying. And then again he said something, no, not this, like this. And again he's, that is the word. So even though Baba obviously is all knowing, he doesn't know Telugu in that sense of having learned Telugu, but he wanted that exact word to go to the Telugu knowing Baba lovers. And so he checked and corrected that word. The idea behind what I'm telling you is that Baba is saying the very first sentence, I am one with you on every level. But you know this only when your ego and intellect do not interfere. Then Baba appears as he is. In other words, again, my interpretation would be that what he expects out of us is that whenever we are, say, seeing Baba, now that is not there physically, or whenever we are studying Baba, like what we are doing now, at that time, all our intellectual gymnastics, which is linked with ego, see, sometimes there is a genuine desire to know, and sometimes there is just an ego to intellectualize a certain thing. This is how I would read it, because I remember once I was invited in Andhra, one of the places in Andhra. Andhra is my mind, Baba had said. They're very intelligent people. So when I was speaking something, some gentleman, elderly, very elderly, respectful gentleman. So he raised his hands and said, sir, I want to ask you a question. I said, please go ahead. And then the way he posed the question, I feel intuitively, it felt intuitively that he knows the answer to the question and he's testing my knowledge. In short, that is how I. So I asked him, I said, sir, are you testing my knowledge, or is it it's a genuine question that you are asking? So he said, no, I know the answer, but you must tell me like this. I said, see, this is not a test. I mean, if you have a genuine question, then ask. And since you know the answer, I would be very happy if you tell on my behalf the answer, so that everybody else will also get to know. No, sir, but I want you to say. I said, okay. Normally, I would not have encouraged such a attitude. In my mind, I'm saying this, but he being a very senior Baba lover, very old Baba lover, and from the way people were respecting him, I knew he was a very old, respected Baba lover. So then I gave the answer, and then he stood up and said, "Very nice." Exactly. I said, "Yeah, I know it is very nice, but that is not. That is what I'm saying. Here, Baba says the ego and the intellect should not come in the way. That is when then Baba appears as he is. In order for Baba to appear to us as he is, it is very difficult to get rid of all our egoistic tendencies. But then Baba would appear as he is. Pay heed when I say, with my divine authority, that the oneness of reality is so uncompromisingly unlimited and all pervading that not only we are one, but even this collective term of we has no place in the infinite, indivisible oneness. So Baba is now very authoritatively saying that I am saying this with my divine authority, that the oneness of, that means all is one. All is also a wrong word. We are one also is a wrong word. But Baba says that even that word we has no place. I'll repeat this. It's a very beautiful sentence. So again, Baba is emphasizing, if somebody were to ask what is Baba's message, then it can be summed up in one line, that Baba's message is of love, truth, and oneness of all life. Love we have done. Love is what that gives, doesn't, I've already explained, And truth is what? Truth is to be experienced. You can never say that I know the truth. Because if I say I know the truth, it means I am separate. The truth is another duality ho gaya, and I am knowing the truth. You can only become the truth. You can only become the truth after experiencing the truth. And then that I, which is a limited I, becomes the indivisible, infinite. Last time we did that I. So here Baba is saying that I say with my divine authority that the oneness of reality, that means, as I said, I keep saying this, that the truth or the reality is infinite in its oneness, and the creation is also infinite, but it is infinite in its manyness, in its multiplicity. Whereas reality is one, creation is multiple. So here Baba says, I say with my divine authority that the oneness of reality is so uncompromisingly unlimited and all pervading. It is Sakala Pasara, as we say it, that not only we are one, but even this collective term of we has no place in the infinite, indivisible oneness. This word is very important, that this oneness or truth or reality or God or Advait is not only one, but it is also indivisible, cannot be divided. There is no two, one. I am ever conscious that I am in you. At this moment, Baba is conscious that he is in each one of us. He is conscious. And that is why in the Sahwas programs, many times he would say, when some bhajan is going on, he would stop the bhajan and say, I tell you with my divine authority, what is my experience now? That I'm sitting here on the dais, that I am the singer, that I am the audience, that I am the song, that I am the lyrics in the song, that I am the music of the song, and all that. So his experience was that he is one with everyone and everything. That way. So Baba says over here, I am ever conscious that I am in you, while you are never conscious that I am in you. We are never conscious that Baba is in us. Intellectually, using a sense of imagination, we imagine that Baba is in us. But conscious experience that Baba is in us is not there. If the conscious experience is there, then it is realization. That means there is no dewey between I and Baba. It's one. Daily, I support you and share your consciousness. Baba is saying, daily I'm supporting you and sharing your consciousness. Obviously, because he's conscious in each one of us. Now, I want you to uphold me so that one day you can share my consciousness. Now, again, the question comes is, how do we uphold him? In my limited understanding of things, we uphold him by loving him, by remembering him, by making him our constant companion, by holding on to his Naman, which means that by obeying him. In other words, our focus should be him, just as his focus is us. His focus is always us. His focus never gets derailed because he is the avatar and he is always conscious and connected with the creation. That means he is conscious and connected with each and every one of us because we are in creation. But we are not conscious about him. So Baba says that if you uphold me, then a day will come when you will be one in consciousness with me, which means you will realize me. So this was chapter number 68. We still have about 7 minutes more. Any questions anybody has?
I had a question.
Yes, Akshay.
Can we increase the time of this talking?
Can we what?
Increase the timing of this
Oh
talking
my dear.
because I want to keep listening to you.
Oh my God.
And it is Saturday also, so we have got time, Cyrus.
Okay.
Maybe just by 15-30
Yeah,
minutes.
please do, because it's Saturdays we are at, please.
Okay. Noted and agreed. Noted and
Thank you.
agreed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Akshay. Thank you, Katie. All right. But any questions on this? Anybody has any question? No. So I'll go ahead. We only have 2 more chapters from this book, and then we'll have to change the book. We'll look into that. We'll cross the bridge when we come to it, as we say, All right. So now this is chapter number 69. Keep the door of heart open. Now, what is heart? We say this is heart pump. This is just a pump. Basically, Baba talks about the 3 worlds, the gross, the subtle, and the mental world. In the mental world, there are 2 chambers. One is connected with intellect, mind, thoughts, and the other is feelings. That which is connected with the thoughts, we call it mind, and that which is connected with the feelings, we call it the heart. The mind represents the 5th plane of consciousness as per God speaks, and the feeling or the heart represents the 6th plane of consciousness, which is just one short of reality, which is the 7th plane. All right. So when Baba says, keep the door of your hearts open, I would interpret it as be open in your heart, be more feeling than thinking. Try to connect a kind of a channel between you and the master so that his guidance, his intuition, his voice can flow through that channel. Actually, there's no channel. Actually, it's all in. But this is just to make our mind understand that you create a remembrance, constantly repeating his name, and we create a channel, and then we invoke him to come into our heart and enthrone him in our heart. And then once this again, this is all imagination. Let me tell you that once he is enthroned in our heart, then we communicate with him. We make him our constant companion. We make him our best friend. We make him our what should I, the head of the family. We consult him with what every little thing that we have to do. And that is how we develop friendship with Baba. And once that friendship is developed, then there are times, I'm sure many people have experienced, then there are times when we forget the friendship, but he does not forget the friendship, and he saves us from some kind of predicament. Arey, just bach gaya. Aisa hota to aisa hota. And how is it that just aisa ho gaya? Because he has not forgotten the friendship. He remembers the friendship. I remember a story where uh, I remember Baba was traveling. I don't know the nitty-gritty of it, but Baba was traveling somewhere, and all of a sudden, it was early morning or dawn, and Baba said, "I would like to have a hot water bath," you know. And Baba used to have this, all of a sudden he would ask for anything. So Iraj is the one who has to manage, so he had to search for a matchstick and some wood and some vessel and water and all that. And just as he was about to do this, it was dawn. It was not even pitch dark, but it's a little, what should I say, dawn. And he saw a man coming from a far off place, carrying a vessel on his head, approaching Iraj. And then Iraj said, "Who are you and what do you want?" Because they were approaching where Baba and Iraj and maybe the Mandli, maybe others were staying. He said, "I don't know, somehow or the other, I just felt that I must make some hot water and bring it to this house." So he brought it. And of course, Baba blessed him, and Baba had a nice, refreshing bath for whatever reason. Baba asked, everything was over. Now, this is important that after many years, Baba had, if we all know that there is this memorial tower built, memorial tower where Baba remembered the names of so many people who have contributed in his autaric ministry. And one of them, as we all know, is M.S. Irani, Mera's mama, uncle, who was a full-time opponent of Meher Baba, always complaining, always big biting, always writing all kinds of, rubbish in the newspapers. His name is also there because Baba said that you have no idea what help he has done, he has given in my work. Virod Bhakti, as we say. So Iraj was writing the name, and then Baba gave one name. And Iraj said, these are in Iraj's word. He said, by and large, I know a lot of Baba people. There were some, I don't know, a few hundred names, but I couldn't just trace who is this person name. And at the opportune time, Iraj says, I know most of these people. Some of them are there alive, some of them are gone. I think most of them are gone. But who is this person? Then Baba said, you forgot this man? Yeah, this is the man who brought hot water for me. Oh, he said, my God, just one small incident that happened, Baba never forgets. I repeat, Baba never forgets. If you do one good deed in Baba's name without any expectation of any reward or anything, it is recorded in his supercomputer, and he remembers. So Iraj said, just imagine the Lord, that he remembered that particular incident because he wanted something and somebody provided something. So that way. So here Baba says, I long, acha, so I don't know how this whole thing came about, but the point is that we must do things lovingly without expecting any return or any reward. Long for union or real harmony, which is union in diversity, long for union. Now, Baba has again emphasized a lot on longing for union with Baba, with the beloved. Of course, in all matters spiritual, there is something called dichotomy. Because then Baba says the entire opposite, that when you reach the sixth plane, the longing is at its zenith, it is at its apex. You feel that you cannot survive even 1 second without your beloved. You want to become one with the beloved. And yet, at that point in time, you are supposed to let go of that longing and tell the beloved, not mine, thy will. It is thy will. If you wish, you create this oneness between you and me. That means there is always this dichotomy in spirituality. We always find that here Baba has said something else, there Baba is say something else, and they are both absolutely diametrically opposite. So we need to understand that these are things which are not to be understood. They are to be what should I say? In your heart, you have to understand it. And in other words, you have to have full faith and full trust in what Baba is saying and doing. He'll only say and do that is best for all concerned. So here Baba says, long for union, real harmony, which is union in diversity. In other words, again, I am not sure exactly what was the context in which Baba uttered these words. But perhaps what Baba is saying is that unity in diversity. There's diversity all over, but in your heart, you should be united and you should be one. In your heart, you should have a longing to become one with your beloved. Why not really try? Again and again, if you read Baba's discourses, this word called try. In normal parlance, if you say, I'll try to keep my promise, then you say, sure, what is this nonsense? Try. I'll try to come, I'll try to do this. They just shun that word try. But in Baba's dictionary, Baba's literature, you will find a lot of try. In other words, in my understanding, Baba gives marks to the trying and attempting, irrespective of whether we are successful or not. In other words, if we try, then he helps. That is what I say. Even in Baba's, try to help and serve others. Try to. He always use the word try. So here says, why not really try? You cannot love each other, but try to learn to. That means it is given in some sahwas where people are not necessarily getting along well with each other, and that is why Baba is saying you cannot love each other. Okay, jane do, chhod do. You cannot love each other, but try to learn to give in to each other. That means if you cannot love each other, okay, it's okay. It's quite natural, maybe because the samskaric patterns are different. So you don't love each other. In fact, Baba has said this very powerful statement which says, to love those whom you cannot love is to love me as I should be loved. In other words, that is the propensity of love that we should have for each and every one. But here Baba is a little lenient, so to speak, and says, you cannot love each other, but try to learn to give in to each other. Let me just give in. Just do not, because most of the issues that we face in life, what we call as troubles, quarrels, fights, are because we do not want to let go our standpoint in whatever we are saying or doing. In other words, we are not open to change. We are not open to giving and giving in, give and take. We are not open to sit across and talk and debate objectively. We do it subjectively. That means we say, I said this means it must happen, period. I don't want any discussion on this. That is subjective. But if you objectively discuss anything, then there is a possibility of some kind of a samjhota, some kind of a consensus. You give in something, the other person gives in something, and then you come to a point where you feel, okay, it's a win-win situation. I have given in something, somebody else has given in, and then it's over with. So Baba says, try to learn to give in to each other. This you do not do. He's definitely addressing some people and saying that this you do not do. You do not want to give in. You only want to stand. You have your own standpoint and you're sticking to only your point of view as if that is the truth. One of the famous American, speakers, Wayne Dyer, he had said, that this is my way. What is your way? There is no the way. We are always thinking that my way is the way. The opposite person also thinks my way is the way. So now there are two thus. And with that, what happened? The da 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 da. So in order not to have the da 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 da, you have to give in. That's what Baba is saying. Okay. This you do not do. Why? Baba is saying why? Because you are not honest. Because you are not honest, which means you are dishonest, which means you are not willing to give in, you are sticking to your point of view. See, there's a very beautiful, there's a very fine line between fact and truth. Now, this is not the forum to discuss that, but all the same. Baba says truth is that which upholds someone. I had narrated this story once. Since we have extended time, I might go into it. There was one gentleman who was he was a scholar in Sanskrit. So in one of the sahavasis, he wanted to read out his rachana, what he has already written in Sanskrit. Katie, your mic, can you just pay attention to your mic, dear? So he said it in a very loud voice, something in Sanskrit.
Cyrus, you are muted. Sorry, you're on mute.
I'm sorry. So, I don't know how much I had said, but anyway, Baba asked Ramakrishnan, how did you find this Rachana? Now, Ramakrishnan knew that it is not his composition, that gentleman's composition. It is from some Adi Shankaracharya's. So he blurted out and said, Baba, this is not his. Of course, Baba's face very sternly, he looked at him, and that fellow's face absolutely fell down. And then after the whole thing is over, Baba asked Ramakrishna, okay, why did you say this? Ramakrishna said, but that is the truth. That is the truth. It is not his. And Baba said, truth is that which upholds. That may be a fact, but what you said, when you said certain thing, his whole, the gusto with which he spoke, he was just diffused. Let's put it, fuski nikal gayi jaise bolte hai. This is what had happened. So then, time and time again, Baba only upholds. Baba only uplifts. Baba only gives a helping hand to whosoever, howsoever depraved he may be, fallen down, ugly, dirty, guttary, he will only pull up. That's all. So what Baba expects out of us is that say the truth in a manner that it upholds the other person. If something we are going to say is going to discourage or put down somebody, condemn somebody, then you will have to modulate that truth in a manner that he doesn't really fall down and he is able to understand and accept what you are trying to say, and that will help him to come up again. So coming back over here, Baba says, this you do not do. Why? Because you are dishonest. So that is the meaning of honesty and dishonesty. Doesn't mean just paise ka honesty, dishonesty. You should be so honest as not to be a hypocrite. Yeah, now here I think what Baba is trying to explain is that you want to stick to your own ground and you do not want to give a ear to the other person. You think the other person is always wrong and you are always right. So that is not how the world functions. If I find disharmony and no willingness to die, then now when Baba says die, obviously it is not the physical death, perhaps the death of the ego. Then better to have you all leave. If you are going to stick to your own point of view and still going to discuss and debate and fight and quarrel all the time between yourself, then it is better that you leave. It is not for fame or name that you have come to me. Baba does not need anybody. As I say, most of Baba's messages are contextual. What is the context? What is the environment? Who are the people sitting in front? What is the situation happening? So it is very situational. And you cannot carry that message into the category of a general category and try to tell others to apply that all the time. There are many such messages. If you misapply them, then it could create a mess in our life. So here Baba says, Baba does not need anybody. I am always alone and always will be until eternity. Baba alone is alone in the sense not that he is lonely. There's a world of difference between the word alone and lonely. Alone, here Baba is saying alone, is I alone am. There's nobody else. Everything is me. I am in everybody. That kind. And lonely means you are separated from the other people and you feel lonely. I remember a nice, again, words to the effect. Please understand, whenever I quote Baba's words, these are words to the effect. They may or may not be the exact words. There's there's a series of 4 books written by Bal Natu. The series is called Conversations with the Awakener. And in one of them, I don't remember which one, I think it was the first one. There's conversation, more conversation, flowing conversation, or rather intimate conversation and flowing conversation. 4 of them. In one of them, in one of the chapters, it is written, that Bal Natu is writing that he is feeling very lonely. And there is a lot of boredom in his life. He's writing like that. And he's addressing this, to the awakener. And obviously, we know that the awakener is Avatar Meher Baba, because these books were written after Baba had passed over. I wouldn't say passed over, Baba dropped his body. And in none of the books, not even once, the name Meher Baba comes. It is always the awakener. But of course, we know that he is addressing Meher Baba. So he's writing that I'm feeling very bored and this and this and that. And then the awakener is replying words to the effect that boredom is a lethargic void. Void means emptiness. Lethargic means you become very lazy, lethargic, so to speak. Boredom is a lethargic void. And then the awakener goes on to say that when you fail to see my aloneness in everybody and everything, you feel lonely. That means when you fail to recognize Meher Baba's presence in everyone and everything, then you get separated from everyone and everything, and then you feel lonely. I think it's a very beautiful statement, the difference between aloneness and lonely. So here Baba says, I am always alone and always will be until eternity. It is you who need me until you become me. But if you do not try, What is the use? That means Baba is just cajoling, Baba is just goading people to try to cooperate, to try to see the other side of things, to try to give the other person also a chance to speak and explain the other point of view. There must be harmony, love, peace, real, not forced. See, Baba has never emphasized on any kind of forced work. He wants it to sprout from within, unfoldment from within. So there has to be love, harmony, love, and peace, real and not forced. Unless you are what I want, I cannot give you what I want. See, unless you are what I want, I cannot give you what I want. In other words, any blessings, any grace, anything coming from Baba would be after we become or we behave how he wants us to behave. Don't keep closed doors of your heart. And don't keep your heart closed, be open to your heart. Keep open doors so that when I want, I can enter. Every time I intend entering, I find the door closed, all for useless wants. That means it is our wants, it is our desires, it is our cravings which have kept the door closed, doors of our heart closed. In one other discourse, he says that they are all so full, your heart is full. So I have no place to enter unless you empty your heart of all these strangers, because all these things are strangers to Baba. I cannot enter. So here we end chapter number 69 also. I think we'll stop now. We stop now. There's only one, but we can do it next time. Any questions anybody wants to ask? Anybody want to ask anything?
Yeah,
No.
I just had one question.
Yes, Akshay. Why don't
You,
we see your handsome face, Ray? Arey?
uh,
Yes, Akshay, go ahead. Go
um,
ahead, go ahead.
so I had a question that you explained about aloneness,
Yeah,
Baba, that I said. Can you like elaborate on that? Just 5 minutes about.
yeah, sure. Why not?
I,
See here, see. Again, these are all play of words, right? And I can explain only up to my limited understanding or intellect. Alone, Baba uses the word I alone am. Even that Bauji had written, he alone is or you alone are, I am alone am. That means he is so all encompassing one that he is alone. Nobody else is there besides him, isn't it? That is the meaning of alone. And lonely in this context would mean that you feel lonely. That means there's nobody else to talk with you, nobody's coming and seeing you, nobody's meeting you, nobody's sending me WhatsApp on the group for a long time. So that lonely means lonely is an emotional feeling of being cut out from so many other places and people. You are cut off from people. That is lonely. And alone could mean that I alone. Now, for example, I am alone in this house, and which is a fact, right? But I'm not lonely because I'm with so many people around, like so many people over here. Even after this over, I never feel lonely. In fact, I feel very absolutely comfortable being all by myself because I am my best friend. Let's put it that way. So that is the difference between alone and lonely. Do you get it?
yeah, so basically, Baba is all alone in this whole creation of. So he
Obviously,
created this whole world in order to find more about himself.
when we say all alone, it doesn't mean lonely. All alone means he alone is. He is the only one because apart from him, who else is there? Because he will find himself in you and me and all the others, and therefore he is seeing himself only. And he is experiencing himself only, and therefore he is alone. He is alone and he will remain alone till eternity. But he is not lonely, you see. So that loneliness is when you are cut off from the main, then you feel lonely. And loneliness is a very treacherous feeling. You go into depression and all that when you are lonely, but you have people around, then you don't feel lonely. Okay, right. So I think, okay, Akshay, thank you very much, all of you. Shall we call it a day? Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai. Jai Baba, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Jai Baba.
Thank you, Rakesh.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Cyrus.
Semin. Thank you,
Thank
whoever
you.
was host. Thank you
I
very much.
don't do anything.
Yeah, very good.
Jai Baba. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.